Now, the only locally produced farm radio show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A partly to mostly cloudy good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center. Matthew Lester joining me as well. Plenty of cloudy skies out and about, but unfortunately it's not helping us as far as our temperatures go. We're still struggling in the middle teens. By the time the day is all done, wouldn't be a bit surprised if we pick up another couple 3 degrees, and that's going to be about it. We did have some sun a little bit earlier. We did have some partly cloudy and clear skies overnight, and as a result, some of those temperatures did drop down to and around zero, if not a little bit below that. But you could tell where the clouds were around. Temperatures never really dropped much below 10 degrees. Currently, Matthew, what do we have on the thermometer?
Currently, over at the airport, it's cloudy at 14. Over in Midland, it's cloudy at 16. Here at Radio Center, it's cloudy at 14. We have southwest winds at 13 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 30.45, and it's falling.
We're looking at a few flurries here and there, especially over on the west side of the state, the typical lake effect type precipitation, because we do have a light wind, as Matthew said, currently coming out of the southwest and the west at about 10 to 14 miles per hour. That is going to be changing as we go into the nighttime hours. It's going to become a little bit more northwesterly, and as a result, we're going to have a chance of seeing some snow showers and snow flurries here in the Great Lakes Bay area, as well as a good portion of the entire lower peninsula. 20 states right now are under winter storm advisories or warnings as we go through the afternoon and into the evening hours. Southern Louisiana, all the way over to West Virginia, and then out into the Atlantic Ocean. A major system is going to be moving rather rapidly. That's going to generate the precipitation in the form of a measurable amount of snow, ice, and also in the southern states, they are going to be looking at a very good chance of seeing some rain once again. All of this is going to happen before bitter cold air finally does settle down into the Gulf states. So we are going to be looking once again at some temperatures approaching single digits all the way down to the Gulf, which is something obviously that they don't need. Over the last 45 days or so, those states have seen weather that is very similar to what you see in Dakota. Huge swings in temperatures, and in some cases 50 and 60 degree changes as they've gone through the better part of a week. Over a 7-day period of time, some folks along the Gulf did see temperatures in the 70s to start the work week, dropping down to about 9 degrees for a high temperature and low temperature during the midweek, and then moving into the 60s by the end of the week. Can't really imagine anything good coming out of that when it comes to orchards and some of those facilities. We're just going to have to see the net result of these big swings in temperatures across some major fruit growing areas as we move into spring and into later spring. For us, we obviously haven't had any issues when it comes to that. We've had cold air, and turning out to be a very typical winter-like season for us with plenty of cold air, some snow. I was looking at some of the readings. We're pretty close at the airport to 30 inches of snow so far in the snow season, beginning the first part of December. A year ago, we were considerably lower than that. We were at 24 inches. And as many of you recall, we did pick up some quick bursts of snow, and that was about it. We experienced a very warm February. As a matter of fact, we had a number of record high temperatures in the 40s or in the 50s and 60s for the month of February. Taking a look at weather records, the month of February We have had in the past 8 record high temperatures in February, not last year, but you have to go back into the decade of the 30s when you saw that many record high temperatures. In the 2020s, the decade so far, we've had 5, and a number of them obviously were last year. And then the third most active when it comes to record-breaking February temperatures was the decade of the 2010s, where we had 4. So that kind of puts into perspective how warm it was and has been so far over the last 5 years here in the Great Lakes Bay Area. But then you got to go all the way back to the 1930s to see that there were more record cold temperatures set or warm temperatures set during that particular decade. The coldest ever in recorded history for the 19th of February was set back in 2015. 4 was our high and 9 below zero was our low. The warmest ever, you got to go back to 1930 to see that record. Record high in the state is 59. That was set back in 2016 and tied the next year in 2017. The record coldest for the 19th of February, 9 below zero. And as we said, that was set back in 2015. Sun will set this evening at 6:13, rise tomorrow morning at 7:27. So what are we looking at as far as our weather is concerned for the next few days? Tomorrow, records will be broken in Amarillo, Texas, Dallas, Texas, and Midland, Texas. Baton Rouge, Louisiana is forecasting for a record cold day there. Also taking a look at Memphis, Tennessee, New Orleans, Lexington, Kentucky, Omaha, Nebraska, Pierre, South Dakota, and Kansas City. All of those will be breaking records. And the reason for it, we got a high pressure system located over the Dakotas and that low pressure system, which is moving through the Tennessee Valley. The two working together are going to provide the mix for plenty of moisture from that low and plenty of cold temperatures from that high. That's why that Tennessee Valley, the Mason-Dixon line, is the area that's going to be the heaviest when it comes to snow, because for us up here, we're going to be in the cold spell, and down south, they're still going to be warm. But once that low moves far enough into the Atlantic Ocean, the high temperature, the high pressure is going to take over, and that's why you're going to see some very cold temperatures there. 20 is our projected high for the day. Some light snow tonight with mostly cloudy skies. 10 for a low. Light snow. We could pick up a half, maybe an inch of snow in some areas tonight and early tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, plenty of clouds. We'll stick with the clouds. Some light snow to start the day off early. 21 for a high, then dropping down to 10 for a low tomorrow night. And again, we'll have a northwest wind tomorrow gusting to 20 miles per hour. So we'll have a wind chill to contend with. Friday, we're going to be looking at a mix of sun and clouds, a little bit warmer. 27 for a high, 11 for a low, still running below normal. 33 is what's average for this time of the year for a high, 18 for a low. Saturday, mostly cloudy skies, 30 for a high. We're only going to drop down about 4 degrees on Saturday night. Look for a low of right around 26. And then on Sunday, 36 for a high, 32 for a low. Then moving into Monday, we'll start off with some snow showers, but then it will be rainy, light in nature. 38 for a high on Monday, 32 for a low on Monday night, and mostly cloudy on Tuesday, 36 for a high. We're going to be running a little bit above normal as far as our temperatures as we work our way through the final days of the month of February. And moving into the first part of March, we'll start to fade back just a little bit. We're looking for slightly below normal temperatures to end February, the last day or so, and into the first 4 days of March. Slightly above normal as far as the moisture goes. So we very possibly could see some snow to start off the beginning of March. That, in a nutshell, is what the weather is all about. Standing by today, Matthew, what do we have?
Up next, we have Cody Harris from Star of the West, and we will And we also have Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
But before we get to them, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrient Ag Solutions.
Nutrient Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrient Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrientagsolutions.com.
Say, do you want to unlock the secret to higher yields? If you're applying dry fertilizer, the key to better yield potential is Titan XC. Titan XC is a fertilizer biocatalyst that unlocks and releases the bound-up nutrients in granular fertilizer, promoting better root uptake and plant growth. Drive performance this season and beyond. Release more nutrition. Expect better results with Titan XC. For more information, visit lpi.ag/unlock or contact your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Rummel Insurance Agency. A couple of big meetings coming up. First of all, for wheat growers, it'll be the 25th of February. Folks at the Rummel Agency invite all of our wheat growers to attend that annual meeting. It's going to be at the Saginaw Valley Research and Extension Center next Tuesday, February the 25th. Registration is at 8:15. Program runs until about 3:30 in the afternoon. miwheat.org is how you can register to attend that meeting. Also, the Rummel Agency over in the Caro area invites you to go to the Caro Farm Toy Show. The Thumb Area Old Engine and Tractor Association is hosting their 21st annual Farm Collectibles and Toy Show coming up on Saturday, February the 22nd at the Brentwood. It starts at 8:30 and goes until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There is a donation, a $3 donation for adults. Children 12 and under are admitted free for that event. Remember, if whatever you need when it comes to farm insurance, it's the Rummel Agency, Frankenmuth, Saginaw, and Caro. We say good morning to Cody Harris over at Star of the West. And Cody, we were talking about wheat. It looks like the wheat is kind of taking it on the chin right now.
Yeah, out of everything here today, wheat's kind of maybe getting a little correction from the major moves it had the last couple of days, but I don't think there's really too much big concern there, kind of looking at everything. But at least we got corn and soybeans in the green, so that's a positive takeaway from it.
Yeah, so at this stage of the game, obviously there's a lot of factors involved. We keep getting hit with all sorts of things affecting the market. I'm just kind of curious, what's the latest out of south of the equator, down in South America?
Yeah, that's probably what the market's focusing on more here lately, as we kind of definitely are getting into their soybean harvest down there and into that second corn planting that they have down in South America. So that's why we're seeing maybe soybeans have a little bit of jolt here today. We got a report out that there's been kind of a sluggish bean harvest. I think the last time I looked, it was 25% of the crop has been harvested. Last year, I think it was 32% was harvested at this time. And that kind of goes hand in hand with the second corn crop planting, that safrinha crop that they have down there. I think the planting pace was at like 36% of that second corn crop was planted compared to 59% a year ago. So I think that's where you're definitely seeing the strength between corn and soybeans here today. We got maybe a little bit of beneficial news as far as that's concerned. But one thing to keep in mind is there's a little bit of a favorable weather pattern for both Argentina and Brazil. That's kind of in the extended forecast. So that's something to keep an eye on, and traders are definitely going to be watching that as we move forward these next couple weeks.
So right now on the board, what do you have, Cody?
Yeah, right now we got cash wheat. That's down 8 at the moment. 582 on the white, 507 on the red. Looking over at new crop wheat, that's down 7, 623 on the white, 538 on the red. And looking over at corn, cash corn is up 1 at 433. New crop corn also up a penny at 414. And then looking over at soybeans, cash soybeans are up 5 at 964, and new crop soybeans are up 3 at 981.
Cody, you have a great day, okay?
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
You betcha. Cody Harris over at Star of the West. A little bit more in depth as far as what the markets are doing, the ag futures, but some of the other related issues as well with Doug Klein from Oppenheimer. The market report brought to you by Thumb Bank and Trust. making agricultural loans since 1895. And they've got locations throughout the Thumb and the Great Lakes Bay region to take care of your business. Thumb Bank and Trust, where relationships are built on trust, equal opportunity lender and member FDIC. And by Schaefer and Beerline and Frankenmuth, again, reminding each and every one of you that everybody does qualify for the employee price discount on all new in-stock 2024 Ram heavy-duty trucks. Buy from a business-linked dealer that knows what customer satisfaction truly is. Schaefer and Beerline and Frankenmuth, where family and service sell cars. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning.
What are we looking at now?
Well, John Deere hit a new high today, 509.48. It's only up 40% in the last 1 year, so that's fantastic.
Yeah.
20% year to date. So I don't know what they know, but maybe they know something. I don't know.
Well, the color's right. It's green, right?
Yeah, right. So that's all good. Nikola, on the other hand, went bankrupt today. So they were worth $26 billion 5 years ago, worth more than the Ford Motor Car Company, and now they're bankrupt. And Ford is still around. So, fortunes come and fortunes go, as they say. Also, Visa hit a new high today, and the home builders are having a lot of struggle. They're hitting new lows again. Lennar and D.R. Horton, those are big in the home building arena. You wouldn't think that they would be struggling, but they are. So here's your numbers. The March corn is 502 3/4, up 3/4. September corn 481 3/4, up 1 1/4. March soybeans 1044 1/4, up 5 3/4. September soybeans 1059, up 4. The March wheat 596 1/2, down 8 1/4, and September wheat 637 1/4, down 6 1/2. Crude oil is 72.51, up 68 cents. Heating oil is 241, up 2.2 cents. Gasoline is 209, up 0.4 pennies. Natural gas is the big rocket today, and with all this cold air, I guess that stands to reason. It is 419 1/2, up 16 cents, 4%. Over to currencies, Canadian dollar. U.S. dollar buys $1.4220 Canadian. That's up by 23 ticks. The dollar buys 151.61 yen. That's down by 44 ticks. The euro's at 104.10, down by 35 ticks. The dollar's on a tear, I guess. That's 107.29, up by 24 ticks. So precious metals taking just a little bit of a breather. Gold is 29.4210, down $6.90. Silver's 33.26, down 25.5 cents. Platinum's 9.80 and a dime. That's down $20. And copper is 4.62, down 2 1/4 cents.
All right. Interesting day.
Always is.
Up, down, and all around.
Mm-hmm.
Doug, you take care. Have a good one, okay? Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Freeland Bean and Grain, your Dairyland seed dealer. You get a hold of Justin Varner right now and see how he can help as you get ready for spring. Remember, Dairyland seed. We've got seed with your name on it from your friends at Freeland Bean and Grain since 1983. Where serving you is their business. While we're on the subject of taking a look at your calendar and marking a few things down, March the 4th, Fat Tuesday, we're going to be at Kryjak's House Family Restaurant. Big fundraiser going on for the Salvation Army in Bay City, plus a whole lot more in the way of entertainment, just a lot of fun. We'll be broadcasting once again from there. Hey, they're a great place to dine in. And obviously, everybody knows that they'll supply food for you for any event that you got coming up. The telephone number is 989-894-5531. Kryjak's House, corner of Cass and Michigan, on the south side of Bay City. Standing by, Matthew, who do we have?
Up next, we have Jerry Samalski from the Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. And we also have Scott Dumas with Nutrien Ag.
They're coming up, but first this.
It happens after every commercial building gets built.
That looks great, boys. Wow, what a change. The owners are going to be thrilled.
Even after cleaning out the garage or shed. That leftover scrap metal can be a burden. but it doesn't have to be, and it can make you some cash. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal is a metal recycling company that'll pay you cash and recycle your metal for the future. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal also makes it easy. We can provide containers for industrial manufacturing facilities and small specialty shops for moving and storing scrap metals. Looking to scrap a vehicle? We got you. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal in Saginaw, just north of the Dow Event Center. Also located in West Branch, 1 mile off I-75 and M76. Schedule a car pickup or check metal prices now at rifkin-co.com. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal, recycling today for tomorrow.
Friday, bonus pricing has been extended at Rifkin Steel.
Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Steiner Tractor Parts. Again, they want to remind you about that Carroll Farm Toy Show, which is going to be Saturday. Folks at Steiner, very happy to be a part of that show. Buy, sell, swap, farm toys, tools, antiques, new and used parts, literature for tractors and equipment. Just scratch the surface of all the different vendors that are going to be there. Again, at the Brentwood on Park Drive in Carroll, February the 22nd, beginning at 8:30 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. Along with us right now, Scott Dumas from Nutrien Ag. Scott, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, you're out driving. I hope your heater's working.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I've been outside some walk-arounds at some of our locations, and it's actually warmer today, a little less wind, so it's not too bad.
You know, we talk about not too bad. I mean, this snow has really insulated a lot for right now. Do you think it's an issue or it's a positive?
I think the amount of snow cover we have is a great thing. Especially for any winter wheat that's out there, having that snow cover on those fields is a good thing. I really feel that the amount of frost that's in the ground as well is good for, let's call it some tillage. So I like the weather we're having.
I think for the most part, a lot of farmers will agree. And I think a lot of farmers will agree that they should be getting in contact with you folks right now to get some things, get the ducks in a row, huh?
Yeah, I would say if you haven't been in contact with your supplier, most definitely now's the time to do that. Put a plan together. There's some products that are a little bit tight. So communication is key. Definitely this year is going to be another one of those years where you're going to want to be communicating.
Well, that's what I was beginning to wonder, is just how tight some of these supplies are.
I would call it nitrogen products, especially MS. Those type of products are maybe a little on the tight side, especially AMS. I was reading some publications last night that show nationwide they're tight. So it's time to put a plan together.
Yep. No, I agree. 100%. Well, you drive careful. There's still some slick roads out there.
All right. Thanks, Terry.
You bet. Scott Dumas with Nutrien Ag. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at High Fidelity Genetics. They definitely know that, Mr. Farmer, you have to get some pricing in, and you can save half the cost of seed with High Fidelity Genetics. Get non-GMO seed and soybeans that even qualify for organic production. High quality, high yielding seed at half the price. And test plots prove that you do get the best for less with High Fidelity Genetics. Go to highfidelitygenetics.com for more information, or give them a call at 515-434-7333. Joining us now, Jerry Samalski, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Jerry, what should we be looking at right now?
Terry, we've been talking about pruning right along, and I just kind of wanted to bring up an observation. So today, landscaping tends to be round balls in designer mulch, and that's what people are asking for and doing, in great part because they don't know how to prune shrubs. They get the electric shears, they shear them into their box or their ball or their cone, and God forbid that they touch. And then you've got all the open ground, so weeds come, so we have to put mulch in. Let's make it a pretty mulch. And the reason is because people don't know how to prune to keep plants within size and bounds without just indiscriminately shearing. And when you do, you create that thick zone on the outside and then nothing on the inside. And that's really evident right now by some of the deciduous plants, the leafy plants that have dropped their leaves. You look at these branches that come up, and then all of a sudden at the end, there's just this witch's broom and thicket of plant material. So by proper pruning, you won't get that. You'll have a fuller look. And if you think of Dow Gardens, and again, think of your landscape as a garden and not a landscape. In gardens, you don't see mulch, you see plants. So when we're landscaping, let's start thinking about plants and less about mulch, brick, stone, and let's start putting the emphasis on a plant. And if we know how to prune them, you only got to prune them once a year. It's easy. You just have to understand a little bit.
There you go. Jerry, thank you so much. Talk to you again tomorrow, okay?
All right, Terry. All
righty. Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Frankenmuth Credit Union. They're ready to help. Find out how they can help you. Stop by any of their conveniently located offices or go online at frankenmuthcu.org. Have Chuck Cervinsky on the line now from Maple Hill Nursery. And Chuck, we're talking about spring already?
Well, it's not going to be long. Even though we have the snow on the ground, we're thinking spring here and getting a lot of calls, people that want to start seeds. And we've got the perfect soil to do that with, and it's called Seed Starter 101, made by Morgan Composting, who also makes Dairy Dew. And it's a real nice germination mix. It's got a fine, soft texture, making it ideal for even the most delicate seeds. And it's even got Dairy Dew in it. So it's going to give those seeds that extra kick those first month or so that they need it. And you're going to want to saturate the soil before you use it. And again, you're not going to have to fertilize for probably 4 weeks after planting. And another thing this works good for is there's a lot of folks that like to still do bare root planting, and that's going to be, popular in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And you can put a little of that seed starter in the bottom of the hole, and that's going to give that bare root plant a good start as well.
Chuck Cervinsky, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We'll talk to you again in a couple of days, all right?
Okay.
All righty. Chuck Cervinsky with Maple Hill Nursery in Midland. We'll be back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem, brought to you by Euclid Avenue Coin in Bay City.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.